मास्क उतारो जी में आप सबका स्वागत है। मेरे साथ हैं आज सैवियर रॉड्रिक्स। इनकी इंट्रोडक्शन की कोई जरूरत नहीं है, पूरा देश जानता है इनको, और बहुत ही अपफ्रंट और ब्लंट एंड मैं हमेशा सोचती हूँ कि ये अभी किसी न किसी मुसीबत में फंसे, क्योंकि ये कुछ भी बोलने में डरते नहीं है। तो और स्पेशली गर्ल्स और विमेन के कॉज के लिए तो ये बहुत इमोशनल हैं, सेंसिटिव हैं, और उसकी भी लड़ाई लड़ रहे हैं। तो आज हम सैवियो जी के साथ बात करेंगे गोवा के पॉलिटिक्स के बारे में। शॉर्ट 10 to 15 मिनट्स वीडियो है, उसमें ये आपको ब्रीफ कर देंगे गोवा में क्या सीन है, क्या सिनेरियो है। हाय सैवियो।
नमस्ते पायल, कैसे हो आप?
गुड गुड गुड। सैवियो, जस्ट थोड़ा बहुत बताओ आप हमें इन इंग्लिश एंड हिंदी। इंग्लिश में बता दीजिए सो दैट लार्जर ऑडियंस भी समझ सके कि गोवा में क्या चल रहा है, क्या सिचुएशन है।
गोवा में सिचुएशन एक बहुत ही अजीब किस्म के सिचुएशन है. इट्स अ वेरी वेरी स्ट्रेंज सिचुएशन एंड इट इज समथिंग दैट all political parties at no point of time can be 100% sure that they're going to win the election.
ओके।
Right? The advantage is certainly for BJP. बीजेपी को बहुत ही बढ़िया एडवांटेज है जीतने के लिए, पर बीजेपी कुछ ऐसे काम कर रहे हैं जो वोटर्स को डिसअपॉइंट कर रहा है.
Yeah, I
Okay,
read your
so
tweet. Yeah, I read your tweet where you said you were warning BJP, and you did say that I'm sending some suggestions to Mr. Modi, and I hope he adheres
yes.
to it. And I read it. Yeah.
Well, you see, the problem, Payal, is that BJP has grown in Goa over a period of time, and there were very senior political leaders that made BJP what it is in Goa.
Yeah.
Those leaders were Mr. Parikar, Mr. Shripad Nayak, Rajendra Adlekar, people that worked selflessly to build the BJP over a period of time. In 2012, BJP came in with a majority under the leadership of Manohar Parikar, and there was a lot of hope, and there was a lot of Josh, as Mr. Parikar himself said, that there was a lot of Josh towards the progress as far as Goa was concerned.
He was a very sincere politician.
He was very sincere. He was also very visionary. There are politicians who come into power without a vision. So their whole purpose is very, very myopic in terms of how should the state go ahead. So he genuinely had a plan on how to make Goa one of the top destinations, destination states in India and as well as globally. So after the majority, and when Mr. Parikar then moved to the center to take on a post that most Goans are very proud of, to be the Union Defense Minister, the person that he put in charge, though a very good man, was not as competent as he was in that vision that needed to go forward. Right? He's a good man, Lakshmikant Parsekar, but I wouldn't have given him a 7 or an 8 out of 10. I would give him about a 4 or a 5 out of 10.
Okay.
In terms of chief minister performance.
Yeah.
And that's what got reflected in 2017. And in 2017, the Congress became the single largest party, while as BJP was reduced to about 13 seats at that point of time.
Yeah.
And they did form the government, and they formed the government again because Manohar Parikar came back, and the alliances of Goa Forward Party and Maharashtra Gomantak Party agreed only if Manohar Parikar was coming back as the chief minister.
Yeah.
After Manohar Parikar's demise in 2019, and there was a lot of turmoil as to who would be the chief minister, who was going to lead it forward. The BJP decided to go with a young face, that is Dr. Pramod Sawant. Okay. And along with Pramod Sawant, you had something very strange that happened, which is something I don't believe Mr. Parikar would have ever done. But since he was not around, I cannot attribute it to the fact that he would or would not have done such a strategy. But knowing him little bit that I do, I don't think he would have accepted it. So what they did is, instead of going about building the BJP from ground up, in order to stabilize the government, they decided to import from the Congress and the MG.
Yeah, that's the blunder BJP makes. Yeah.
So what they did was they took in 10 Congress MLAs, and which was 2/3 of the Congress at that point of time in the Goa Legislative Assembly, and they did the same with MG. So they took 2 out of the 3 that were there in MGP, and that's how they strengthened the government. And they sidelined the alliance that they had with Goa Forward Party and MGP.
Oh
MGP they
God.
broke completely.
Okay.
Okay. And that's exactly what they did. Now, the problem with a strategy like that, though at that point of time, it may have been what they thought was the right thing to do. Most of these candidates that came in, the 10, one, of course, is a politician who's been charge sheeted on the accusation of raping a minor. That's Babush Mansarar from Panjim. He's in a constituency that actually was a constituency nurtured by Mr. Parikar. Okay. So the question that I had, and what was the real fulcrum around the letter that I wrote to Prime Minister Modi, is how can we accept somebody who's accused and charge sheeted of raping a minor to be considered for even a candidature of the ticket from the BJP? Firstly, we had raised the issue when he was being inducted. Nobody listened to us then. Now you can correct that wrong by not giving him the ticket, but they're not going to do that as well, right? So they will give him the ticket, and I made my stand very clear. As far as Modi is concerned, he has my complete support. BJP at the center has my complete support. But personally, if there is somebody who's charge sheeted and accused of raping a minor in Goa, then I cannot support the BJP in Goa.
Is that leader very popular, or does he have a good vote bank? Or
of course, he's very popular. He's a very popular leader, certainly a strong contender. There is no doubt about it. He can win without a party. He doesn't necessarily have to be in the BJP. Right now, I'm not saying I have nothing against him personally. It's a matter of principles that matter to me.
I know you. I know you too well. Right? Yeah.
So yeah. I'm very clear. I've told the BJP as well. Please understand the position I come from. I come from a position that I've raised issues related to sexual abuse.
Yeah.
So I have a conflict when somebody of that nature is being sided by for political compulsions. I can't subscribe to. So my whole entire minor conflict, I would say, with BJP was that unless he clears his name, why are you having double yardsticks for him? Because the same was applied with MJ Akbar, with Shingar in UP, where they asked them to resign, right? So you might give me any lecture that you want, that it's political compulsion, this is politics, it's about a war. Sometimes you have to side with bad people. That's all good, but it makes no difference to me. For me, my standards are very clear. The guy is accused and charge sheeted by your own police. He cannot be a part of the BJP, I believe.
Yeah, agreed.
So it's a choice left with Mr. Modi, whether he wants to give him his ticket, that's his choice. I won't hate him for that. But I will certainly not support the BJP in Goa. That's for certain, with that decision. But having said that, I'm too small a person for BJP to be bothered about. But I won't shift my opinion for anybody, right? Now, coming back to the problem. The problem is what the people of Goa are having a problem with is that we voted the Congress MLAs. The Congress MLAs did not form the government. Then 10 of the Congress MLAs went and joined the BJP. So quite frankly, there is no BJP because out of the 27 MLAs, 17 MLAs are former Congress or MGP people. And now they're taking more.
Politics.
So it's a Bharatiya Congress party. And that's what's irritating the voters, saying that if I vote for Congress or I vote for BJP, eventually they're going to come together. Right?
Yeah.
So rather than that, let's vote for a good candidate and then let them fight over who forms the government.
Yeah.
That's good exactly idea. What's going to happen in Goa.
Good idea.
They're not going to care if it's a BJP. They're not going to care if it's a Congress. They're not going to care if it's an AAP or a TMC. They're going to look at the candidate and say, is this candidate good for me? Then I'll vote for them. But the only saving grace is something which I keep saying repeatedly. A Mamata Banerjee cannot win in Goa. Her face cannot sell in Goa. An Arvind Kejriwal's face cannot sell in Goa. And not necessarily a Modi's face as well. But if Prime Minister Modi is able to come down and connect with the people of Goa, then it could change the fortunes for the BJP. You still must understand.
But have you conveyed this to Mr. Modi?
Of course.
I hope directly. Because if you're going to go
Yeah,
because if you go via
I never
somebody,
do wire.
yeah,
You should
because
know me.
vias are very dangerous.
I never do wire.
Yeah.
Right. So the point is, you know, what people don't understand, that there is a considerable amount of Congress voter base as far as Goa is concerned.
Those
Number one.
concerned. Yeah.
Number two is, the Goan politics is a little different. You know, it's got the Catholic voter base, it's got the Bandari Samaj voter base that plays a very vital role. And then, of course, it has a Saraswat Brahmin voter base. The Muslim population is a small one, but does have an influence in certain constituencies. So it's not as easy as it looks. So the BJP strategy has been very simple. It seems to them that it's a master stroke, but we will know whether the master stroke will lead to a hard stroke when the elections are over. You know. So right now, my job was to always tell them as a friend that this is what I think you're doing wrong, and now I'll tell you what I think they're doing wrong. When people come in from the Congress into the BJP, okay, you are realizing that you are not ending the cartel of the corruption that exists in Goa.
Yeah, true.
It's the continuance of that cartel that is irritating the people of Goa. So let's say you take a Babush Montserrat. Babush Montserrat is accused. Now he's in the BJP, you whitewash him. When the Panjim elections was going on after Manohar Parrikar's demise, the chief minister at that point of time had actually warned the women in Panjim that, you know, we must be careful if Babush comes to your house for canvassing for the elections, because you know the case is behind him. And then you have the chief minister standing with him himself, you know, after he joins him. So they have this problem of whitewashing everybody, and it's not going to work in Goa. I like people who have their arrogance and their confidence in what they're doing. And the people of Goa have shown political parties, like when Congress did what they did in 2012, they showed the Congress that all your money, all your power means nothing. They brought them down to 9 seats.
Yeah.
The most corrupt win. So the voter in Goa is a smart voter. I'm not saying they are against the BJP. That's not what I'm saying. They are against any political party that assumes and takes them for granted. The groundswell in Goa is against all corrupt related politicians. And that's why they will look for new faces. I'm not saying new political parties, because they don't care about the AAP, they don't care about the TMC. Though choosing between a Congress and an AAP is doing a far better job in penetrating when compared to the Congress. But if the Congress wakes up and puts in people and gets moving on the ground, even now, they can create a similar kind of an upset that they did in 2017.
But our Congress I'm so sorry, is Congress ready to do that? They have that very complacent attitude these days.
See, eventually, if Congress knows that Goa is a bastion, that's easy to win.
Yeah. Okay. So they might do something. Yeah.
They might. Even last time, look at the MLAs that won in the 17 MLAs. Most of them were new faces.
Yeah.
Most of them. Okay. And the considerable ones that left were also the new faces that went and joined the BJP. So the point is, at the end of the day, how is Congress going to work? If Congress is smart enough to understand what the people of Goa want, they can come back to a fighting position with the BJP. Slowly, they're coming there, but they're not there yet. That space has been taken by AAP. AAP has been constantly going out, meeting people, reaching out to people. The only problem with AAP is that they don't have a local face that the people can relate to. Everywhere they see Arvind Kejriwal, and this is the intrinsic problem with the people of Goa. They don't care who the guy is from a national stage.
Yeah.
Do you understand? For them to even like Modi, they like Modi for center. But Modi, unless he connects with people at the state level on a one-on-one basis, like let's say he's coming on the 19th of December, he does a program, people connect with him, people are inspired by him, that's when the change will happen. Do you understand? That's how they think. So, and Arvind Kejriwal coming and meeting people, you know, his faces and in posters all over won't make a damn difference to anybody.
So, Savio, my next question is this freebies. You know, Kejriwal is known for freebies, and Mamata Banerjee has also realized that in these small states, like even Delhi, Arvind Kejriwal won because of freebies, not because of his governance. So now Arvind Kejriwal has guaranteed seven things to the youth, that he'll be giving 3,000 to people who are not unemployed. Well, sorry, people who are unemployed, and he'll be giving 5,000 to people till the time the hotel industry and mining industry doesn't
Correct.
start. Then you know, skill universities and seven program. And same way, Mamata Banerjee has come up with the Ghar Lakshmi card, that they'll financially empower women and they'll give them 5,000 rupees a month till the time they don't get the job. So you think Goa people are like Delhiites?
You see, Payal, okay, let me give you an example of my mother. Okay. And this was not when AAP or anybody was around. This was when the BJP had a system for the senior citizens, where 2,000 would have gone inside their bank accounts. They had a scheme for that for the senior citizens. So the first bit of it, this was a couple of years ago, that they would have to go and get themselves registered and fill the form and all that, stand in a big line. So my mother went with a friend, and she stood in the line and got a little annoyed because there was a senior citizens long lines, didn't make any sense. So then she asked them, what is this formality and all for 2,000 bucks. So then she took her friend and said, listen, if this is the process of me standing in the line for a couple of hours, for 2,000 rupees, I would rather sell the vegetables I grow in my garden and earn that money much more than to come and take that money. Okay. Because of course my mother comes from a different thought process, right? So that is her thought process. There are some people who believe that maybe that 2,000 rupees or the 5,000 rupees is something that they need or they might want. Will it have an impact on the elections? Absolutely not. I'm saying that they will take it, they will appreciate it, but that's not the reason they're going to vote for you.
Vote for it. That's what I wanted to clarify, because
no, they won't. They won't. See, the problem is the Goan voter has gotten smart enough to realize that if people are going to give him freebies, he's going to take the freebies. But there is no way he's going to necessarily give you the vote because of the freebies. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Thank God. Because Delhiites, so they just went gaga over Kejriwal, over free bus rides, free bijli, free pani. Though they are not getting pani, but still, for 5 years, तो आपके पास सरकार बन जाती है आपकी, तो पानी अब दो या ना दो, नेक्स्ट टाइम देखेंगे इलेक्शन के 4-5 महीने पहले पानी भी खूब दे देंगे, बिजली भी खूब दे देंगे, तो ऐसी चलती है सरकारें।
वो प्रॉब्लम गोवा के अंदर है नहीं। गोवा में जो गरीबी लोगों को दिखाना चाहते हैं लोगों को कि हमें फ्री सुविधा चाहिए, वो गोवा के अंदर है नहीं।
Very content. Goa people are Konkani. They're very content people. Huh?
No, you see, Payal, I keep saying this all the time. I tell it to the BJP friends I have, I tell it to the AAP friends I have, I tell it to the Congress friends I have. Listen, this politics that you talk about, freebies, Lakshmi, all these things.
Your voice is cracking.
Lakshmi scheme. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, your voice was cracking in between. Huh? So this Greh Lakshmi thing is also not going to have an effect?
Schemes, the Greh Lakshmi scheme, the Ladli Lakshmi schemes, all these things, there was a scheme that the government of Goa did very well, which was a 2 lakh scheme for women during weddings, where they would help the family with that. Now that did extremely well, So that kind of amount makes a difference to anybody. But you're going to give them 2,000, 3,000 rupees. That's what they will spend in a month on a petrol bill. Two petrol bills of theirs, right? That's what they will spend on food. So they don't want that. TMC yesterday announced this 5,000 rupees a month, 60,000 rupees a year. In fact, I tweeted to Mahua Moitra herself, said, the women in Goa don't want this. What the women in Goa really want is an ability to be self-reliant, to be empowered. So create financial schemes for them in order for them to become entrepreneurs. This 5,000, or even better, why don't you just set up a system where, let's say, like an LIC policy or an education loan policy, that 60,000 rupees that you're giving to them as doles can actually go into what they really want, which is paying for their kids' future in a good college, which is paying for healthcare that is required, which is probably paying for enterprise which they want to start. They don't want big, The people of Goa are very proud. They are
that's what
resilient. They want a future that is better. They want hope, not bakshish, as you would call it. And they don't need that.
And Savio, what about there are a lot of Christian population in Goa? What are their views on Mr. Modi and BJP? Do they consider them as a Hindu party, or is there going to be, doubts in their mind whether to vote for BJP or not?
See, technically there is no problem. And you have to go back to when Manohar Parrikar was around. Okay. Now, Manohar Parrikar as a BJP leader was an intellectual leader that was able to bridge the gap that goes beyond religion. Okay. So he was able to connect with the Christian community because he came from a knowledge background.
Right.
He came from a visionary background. The problem I see with the BJP in Goa right now, even though they have 15 Catholic MLAs, firstly, they don't have a strong connect with the church in order to mobilize the church to think favorably towards the BJP, number one. Number two is that they don't have that intelligent quotient to relate to a larger audience. A larger audience of people beyond just their constituency. I'm talking about people who are visionary, that people can say, it doesn't matter if he's a Hindu, I will vote for him because he's got a vision. It doesn't matter if he's a Catholic, I will vote for him because he's got a vision. He's the BJP. I will vote for him because that is what Manohar Parrikar had. That's my sole problem with the entire thing that BJP is doing. And I'm saying it as a friend, not as an enemy, right? I'm seeing that there was a beautiful model created by Prime Minister, by Manohar Parrikar. There's a great model created by Prime Minister Modi at the central level. There's such a fusion between state and center. Only if they can get the leadership crisis that they have absolutely, dealt with, so that people can look at visionary leaders and move forward with it.
But you're not planning. You're not planning to join BJP in the near future of this particular election.
See, Payal, the honest aspect is, yes, I am quite interested in the electoral aspects of it, right? But sometimes the most important thing is for somebody to sit outside and watch the game the way it's being played in order to actually direct the direction of what Goa should go towards,
But Goa needs leaders like you. Goa needs leaders like you who are,
it doesn't necessarily have to be me, Payal. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm saying what we require. And that is what my appeal to Prime Minister Modi was also. Tomorrow we celebrate the birthday of Mr. Manohar Parrikar. He was a man of great intelligence and absolute humble to the core.
Big loss to BJP. Big loss for BJP.
Right? Yeah. He built people from ground up. You have to go into the history of BJP in Goa to understand how it grew. Right? Today, you have relied and turned BJP into a complete party that's taking imports from outside, and your own grassroots cadre level people, what are you going to do to get them to grow? That's my grouse. You build, BJP is a cadre-based party. It's built with people who are loyal from ground up.
None of those
MLAs that have joined, even the old Congress MLAs that have joined, will ever be loyal to the BJP when the tide turns. And in Goa, the tide turns every 5 years very quickly.
Yeah.
Goa is one state that can redefine a political party's future if they decide to.
Yeah, agreed.
They vote very differently, and it's a small constituency. 100 vote here and there can make a whole difference.
Population. So here we should end our interview and thank you so much Savio for taking out time. इतना short notice दिया मैंने और आपने हाँ कह दिया मुझे. Thank you so much. अब आप लोग देख रहे हैं गोवा का पॉलिटिक्स कितना कॉम्प्लेक्स है और जैसे सैवियो ने कहा कि 100-200 वोट भी पूरा इलेक्शन का सीन एक पॉलिटिकल पार्टी के लिए चेंज करा देगी. और हाँ, मैं हमेशा कहती हूँ जो गोवा के लोग हैं वो बिल्कुल भी फ्रीबीज में बिलीव नहीं करते हैं और दे विल नॉट बिहेव लाइक दिल्लीइट्स. they'll vote for a candidate, they'll vote for good governance and all the best Savio and thank you so much. Thank you.
Pleasure. Namaste.
Namaste. Bye bye.